Man, they're just going to town on that. So if you can get activity like this on your ant bait, this is going to be successful. If you have an ant problem at your home or somewhere on your property, you've got the right video, because in this video I'm going to show you my revised version. This is version number 3 of a DIY boric acid ant killer solution that you can make at home using very few ingredients, and most of them you probably already have in your home. And you can eliminate those ant problems in most cases overnight. I've had a lot of success with this, and this has become my go-to ant killer solution. It's a lot cheaper and way less toxic than the commercial products that you can buy, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. Now, the main ingredient to this ant killer solution is boric acid. This is by Florida Laboratories. This is a 2-pound bag. I got it about 3 or 4 years ago. You can buy it in several different quantities, probably a lifetime supply for me. But I'll put links to this in the description if you want to pick some up to make your own DIY boric acid ant killer solution. Now, it is toxic. You want to keep it out of the reach of children or pets. Just think about what you're doing and put it somewhere where the ants can get to it, but the children and pets won't be able to get to it. Now, through my research, I found that most ants will either like a sugar or something sweet, so we're going to use some sugar, or they could be protein ants. This is not Folgers coffee. It's just a bucket of leftover bacon grease that we'll be using to make a protein-based solution for those ants that like protein versus the ants that prefer sugar. I'm going to mix mine up on a paper plate and maybe in a glass cup so you guys can see what's going on, and then mix it with some water. And we're going to make a small amount because I don't need a lot. All right, for this first solution with the sugar, I have a lot of people ask me questions about this, and people want to have some precise measurements. Just the main rule that I kind of keep in mind as I mix this up is I always want about 2 to 1. 2 parts of the sugar to 1 part of the boric acid. This is about a teaspoon of sugar in the cup. And then I'm just going to reach in and get some of the boric acid. And as you can see, that's how precise I measure. That's about half of the amount of sugar. Put that in the cup. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of water at a time, so I kind of mix this into a paste. And then I'm just going to start stirring that together. And I like to just stir it until it appears as though most of the sugar and the boric acid has dissolved in the solution. So we'll set this to the side, and then we'll make the protein mixture for the ants that prefer the protein type food over the sugar type food. What I like to do, and I'm just using a paper plate in this case, but I'll take like a Post-it. I'll put the solution on that and set that on the floor behind a couch, behind a chair or a piece of furniture, and that way I don't have to just put it on the floor inside the house. And I'm just going to use this plate to mix it up on. So we'll get a little scoop of the bacon grease, put that on our plate. We'll get a little bit of the boric acid. And again, I'm just trying to go with what I think is about a 2 to 1 mixture. 2 parts of the protein and 2 parts of the boric acid. It doesn't take much boric acid to get rid of the ants. And then I'm just going to mix that together, and we'll let this dissolve, and then I'll just kind of keep mixing it over the next 10 minutes or so until we get quite a bit of that dissolved into the bacon grease. Now, while we're waiting on that, I'll put up a couple of pictures here showing you some small sugar ants I had in my kitchen. So I use the same solution, and I like to sometimes soak a crouton in that solution, and that's what I did here. And you can see how many ants are around this, and then the next day not one ant to be seen anywhere. So it took care of that colony overnight with this exact same mixture of boric acid, sugar, and water solution. And I put a crouton in the mixture. This is the oil and boric acid. Then I've got the same setup over here with the sugar water mixture. You might not be able to find the anthill, but if you can find the trails, you just put your bait right in line with that trail and they'll be able to find it pretty quick. So here you can see the ants coming out of the hole, and there's a lot of them there. And then they climb up and travel down the fence rail. They go clear to the end of my property and around the corner. So you could put it anywhere along that ant trail and have success. And I'll just take a spoon, and this is the protein crouton. We'll just set that one there. I'll dump a little bit of the grease on top, and then we'll do the sugar. Didn't want all that dirt on there, but there we go. And we'll come back out and check that here in half hour to an hour, and we'll see which one they like the best. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and you can see I have pretty good results with both. Quite a few on the protein. Better results with the sugar. So in this case, these must be a sugar ant. If you can get activity like this on your ant bait, this is going to be successful. They're all stirred up and going crazy for the sugar. Now all we have left to do is wait, basically. Now that I know they prefer the sugar water, I'm just going to take some of this solution and pour it on top of this other crouton. So they have more to choose from, and then we'll see how this works. So what I'll do, since they're so active here in the morning, we'll let this run all day and all night, and we'll come back this same time in the morning and I'll show you the results. These are fast little ants. Here we are the next morning, pretty close to the same time of day as when we put this boric acid ant bait out here, this DIY ant bait. We got nobody on the trail. By nobody, I mean no ants. Here's the hole itself. I got maybe 2 ants I can see wandering around down there, one on the post. Nothing around the baits. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but I can see that the bait has been eaten away quite a bit. But I would say that this ant pile has been eliminated and there's no more ant problems going on here. Incredible. Telling you guys, this is the way to go if you have an ant issue and you're trying to get rid of ants either in your home or on your property someplace, and you'll be able to make your own DIY boric acid ant killer and resolve this problem without having to call in the professionals and pay a lot of money to have it taken care of. If you enjoyed the video or if it helped you out, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. And I'll put a video on the screen now of one of my previous how to eliminate ant videos. And if you click on that video, I'll meet you over there.